Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mathematics with Mr. Ortega. Today's video is going to be about solving an equation when you have to use the distributive property. You have to combine like terms, you have to get the variables on one side, and then you guys have to isolate the variable. Solving an equation is that you want to get the variable by itself, you want to isolate it. There's three big ideas you need to follow when you guys are solving an equation. First of all, an equation is when you have an equal sign in that expression or in middle of the two expressions. And you can see here we have an equation with an equal sign. So the ideas to solve, three big ideas. Number one, you always want to simplify each side of the equation. When I mean simplify, is you want to distribute if you can. What I mean to simplify each side of the equation is you want to distribute if you can, you want to combine like terms if you can, and if you have variables on both sides, you want to get the same variable on the same side. So looking at this equation, we have 3 times the quantity of d minus 8 minus 5 equals 9 times the quantity of d plus 2 plus 1. The number outside the parentheses you can distribute, and you need to multiply by what's inside. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to multiply 3 times the d right over here, and when I multiply 3 times d, I'm going to get a 3d. Then I need to multiply the same number, the 3 times the next number, which is a minus 8, and that's going to be a negative 24. Now when you have the negative 5 outside of the parentheses, you're not going to multiply by the 3. So you just bring down the minus 5 next to the minus 24. I like to draw a line under the equal sign. Some teachers do this, other teachers do not do this, but I like to separate both of my sides by using that line. So you can see on the left side, we have 3d minus 24 minus 5. On the right side of the line, or the right side of the equation, I'm going to distribute. The 9 multiplied by the d, that's going to be 9d, and you multiply 9 times the positive 2, the plus 2, that's going to be a positive 18. One more time, the number 1 plus 1 is not inside of the parentheses, so you're not going to multiply, you're just going to bring it down. Now you look for like terms. You want to simplify it if you can by combining like terms. So let's go back to the left side of the equation. On the left side, you do have 2 like terms. Like terms are the numbers or coefficients that have the same variable with the same exponent, or they're basically constants. Constants are numbers with no variables. You can combine constants or you can combine terms that have the same variable with the same exponent. So here I have 2, on the left side I have 2 constants, the negative 24 and the negative 5, or you can say minus 24 minus 5. So I'm going to bring down the 3d. I'm going to combine negative 24 minus 5, that's negative 29. On the other side, I also have 2 constants. The constants are the 18, and it is a positive, and the positive 1. So I'm going to bring down the 9d, and I'm going to combine the 18 plus 1. That's going to be 19 right there. So we got the same terms combined. So we combine like terms. The next step, notice we have these 3d on the left side and 9d on the right side. So you want to get the variable on the same side. It doesn't matter what variable you move to make or to have the variable on the same side. But what I like to tell my students is you want to do the opposite of the smallest variable, and that's going to help you avoid negative variables. So when you look at the smallest one, 3d is smaller than 9d. 3, it is smaller than 9. So I'm going to do the opposite of the 3d. Opposite of 3d will be a minus 3d. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So if I subtract 3d, I have to subtract 3d on the other side. Notice that I align like terms. So I have the d's with the d's on this side, the d's with the d's on the other side. So I put the line underneath because I'm going to start combining those variables. So first, 3d minus 3d, that's going to cancel. And we have a negative 29 on the left side. That didn't cancel, you just bring it down. The other side, on the right side, the 9d minus 3d, that's going to be 6d. So you put a 6d. And then you guys bring down the plus 19. So that's the big idea number 1. You want to simplify both sides of the equation. Second big idea, you want to eliminate the constant that's on the same side of the variable. So the variable right now is on the right side. 6d, d is the variable, and the constant is the number with no variable, the plus 19. So I'm going to eliminate, I'm going to do the opposite of that number. So I'm going to subtract 19, and I'm going to put a line here, and you guys are going to combine. So when you guys combine negative 29 minus 19, we get negative 48. Let me bring down the line here so we can see both sides of the equation. So that's on the left side. On the right side, I'm going to bring down the 6d down. I'm going to bring it down because that didn't cancel. We just bring it down. But what does cancel are the 19s. Positive 19 minus 19, cancel. It becomes a 0. So that's the second big idea. You want to eliminate the constant that's on the same side of the variable. The third big idea, isolate the variable. So you look at the variable 6d, in the middle we don't have anything, we don't have a plus or a minus, so by default this is multiplying 6 times d. So to isolate, to get that d by itself, I need to do the opposite of what's happening with the 6 and the d. So they're multiplying, so the opposite will be division. So I'm going to divide by the number next to the d. The coefficient in this case is the 6. So I'm going to divide by 6, and whatever you do to one side, you do it to the other side. So when you guys divide, I'm going to move this up a little bit, you will get negative 8. I'm going to bring down the equal sign over here. 6 divided by 6 on the right side becomes a 1. I don't need that 1, you can make it an invisible 1, but you need to keep the d. So when you guys have your answer negative 8 equals d, that's it. You can switch it. You can say or d equals negative 8. And this is more common in mathematics. We like to have the variable on the left side, d equals negative 8. But this is not wrong. Negative 8 equals d. That is correct. It's just a different way to look at the answer. So the three big ideas to solve equations. Remember, big idea number 1, you want to simplify both sides of the equations. So you distribute if you can, combine like terms if you have any, get the variables on the same side. You want to eliminate fractions if you have any. Right now we didn't have fractions, but you want to simplify. Then you move on to big idea number 2. You want to eliminate the constant that's on the same side of the variable. And the third big idea is isolate the variable. So this is the answer, d equals negative 8. So this concludes my video. I hope you liked it. You guys can subscribe to my channel. You guys can like my videos. And I want you guys to practice. Always, guys, that's going to help you to become good at math. So make sure you practice. And I'll see you guys later.